Oh, the Kenner Classic X-Wing, one of my favorite ships from the vintage toy line. I had one of these growing up. It was one of my favorite ships in my collection I had when I was a kid. This is not my original one. This is one I picked up. I found it very cheap. It needs to be restored. It's missing a couple of the wing cannons. It's missing the decals. The S foils are messed up. They don't lock in place. I put some batteries in it. The LED does come on, but the motor doesn't run, so the motor's probably seized, so that needs to be freed up. This looks like this was the second release. It has the painted in nacelles. Mine was pure white inside of here, but it's still based off the original mold from 1978, from the original X-Wing, so it's close enough to my original that I'm not going to nitpick on. I kind of like those nacelles painted in and everything. So we're going to take this all apart. We're going to unseize the motor, fix the locking mechanism for the X-Wings, clean up the body. I'm not going to retro-brite it. I'm going to leave the yellowing on it, slight yellowing, and install all new decals. I do have two original replacement cannons I came across. So these are not 3D printed. I caught a lot of flack for using 3D printed parts on the Y-Wing. For some reason I do not know, considering I'm not going to sell it. It's something I just want for display. And I got a set of new decals for it as well. Awesome. So we're going to start off by taking this little bad boy apart. Hooked up the, I got a 3-volt power supply. And the motor was seized. I put a little bit of oil on it, spun the motor just a little bit, so now it works. Yeah, there we go. Cool. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of my deoxit, and I'm going to clean up those terminals down there for the batteries, and get the terminals cleaned on. Where'd that piece go? You go poof, there it is. And they clean up these terminals here as well. So we got good contact with the two 1.5 volt batteries. Then after that, we'll get everything all cleaned up, and then we'll put the decals on. Well, we'll put it back together, then we'll put the decals back on. So let's move on to the next phase to get this body all cleaned up. Now another problem I came across is that the X-Wings won't fold in and stay. They'll flop around. Come to find out, little R2-D2 head has broken off the top of this little stub shaft right here. This is the shaft that causes it to open, and then when the spring applies, it pulls up on it to snap the wings into their closed position. So if that is not attached, the R2-D2 head will pop up on the spring, but yet these will still float around. So I got to figure out how I'm going to fix this. I think what I'll probably do is just epoxy it back on. Alright, there we go. Got it epoxied in. Works just fine. Hit the switch. Awesome. I got the canopy all cleaned up. This is the smoked canopy that came from the second release of this X-Wing. Mine was a clear canopy, but I really like this smoked canopy a lot better. Snap it back in. Cool. Well, let's get the 4 cannons installed. Do like 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. The cannon's all installed now. That's awesome. We'll move on to doing the decals next. Alright, let's start with the nose decal here. Oops. Let go. Alrighty. I remember doing this when I was a kid. My hands were shaking so much. I hate putting decals on models because I'm always afraid I'm going to get them off center or crooked. And I'm having that problem right now. I think I got it straight. Come on, get in there. Trying to lightly put it down so I can peel back. That looks good. Yeah, that's good enough. That's good. Alright. There's one on the nose. On the nose. Yeah, we're going to put one on the side. Alright. Let's see here. Let's start. This should be a little easier, so I need to put it right down against that bottom piece right there, like so. Go up, go up, go up, go up. Go up a little more, a little more. No, don't fasten down yet. Oops. I had the same problems when I was a kid too. Trying to get the decals on. Can be a little tricky. Okay. There. Right there. Oh, not far enough back. Gotta start from the front. There we go. Got it tucked right in there. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. Perfect. Cool. Alright, let's stick a wing decal on. Okay, let's put a wing decal on. Notice that this has 3 stripes on it. Red 3, so it's not red 5, so it's not Luke Skywalker's X-Wing. But nonetheless, it's still cool. There we go. That one installed. Okay, so I'm going to finish off putting the rest of the decals on, and then I'll do an overview of the model itself, the toy, my memories of it, and all that good stuff. Overall, I think the restoration came out pretty well. Didn't use any 3D printed parts on this one, so it has all original parts on it again. The only thing it's more recent, more modern is the decals. I got the decals off of Etsy to put on this model, and I didn't retrobrite this one. I decided to leave the aging on it because I kind of like that. I like that look instead of the stark white of my original one I had. I have a lot of fond memories playing with my original X-Wing. It was one of my favorite toys I had back in the late 70s. Really, a really neat ship from the movies. And I think Kenner did a pretty good job with the ships they made back then. There's a lot of play features to this with the the laser in the front, which I got working again. And they got the little motor inside making the laser sound again. Got the S-foils to lock into position once again. There's a couple things wrong with that. The little R2-D2 in the back had broken off the stub shaft inside. and also one of the clips came off one of the wings inside. Real easy repair. Battery compartment was clean, so I didn't really have to do a lot with that. I did find a couple extra cannons that I bought separately to replace the two that were missing from this model. And I found myself a little Luke Skywalker X-Wing pilot to put with this as well. So I plan on hanging this up off from my ceiling with the Y-Wing I did not too long ago. And then I'll move on to the next restoration project, which will be the Imperial Troop Transport. Didn't have that toy back then, so I'm looking forward to restoring that one and getting it working again and having the collection. Anyway, as always, everyone, thanks for watching.